Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, back to my boxing. Now, man, my boy AB, about billions, always ballin'. He's coming back to the sport of boxing, man, and it's been a long time since my boy Adrien Broner has been in the square circle. Broner, the reason why he stopped boxing for a while was because he wanted a $10 million payday. He's like, man, listen, I'm not coming back unless they pay me 10 mims, 10 M's. And ever since the loss to Manny Pacquiao in 2019, Broner's been chilling, man. He's been chilling. And early next year, man, that would be a 2-year layoff for Adrien the Problem Broner. And Broner don't take no tune-ups. You can say what you want about Adrien Broner, but he's fought in a lot of elite level of competition in his career, right? He fought Manny Pacquiao. Sean Porter. I can go down a list about all the elite level fighters he fought, but he really don't take breaks, man. He's always fighting tough opponents, and he wants no soft opponents when he come back. He want that money, and how you gonna get that money in boxing? You gotta fight an elite level opponent, man. You gotta fight an elite level opponent. Now I'm gonna get some close to you guys. Now this is Steven Espinoza, top representative of Showtime, right? Now he says, and I quote, Broner is coming back in January, Espinoza said. Then Espinoza jokingly added, assuming he's done with his big record release. And then he gets into some more quotes. He says, we're in the process of talking about opponents for Broner, right? And he says that it's been 2 years since Broner has been in a discussion about an opponent, and now they're talking about it again. Now, like I said, this is a really big deal. It's basically guess who in the 140 division on the big opponents, and Showtime has a lot of elite level fighters at 140. Under the banner of PBC, they have they just signed Maurice Hooker. They just signed my boy. Gosh, I just forgot the guy. I can't think of the guy's name. They just signed some elite fighters at 140, man. And Broner has a lot of options at 140, and it's definitely going to be a really tough challenge because he wants to get paid a lot of money. So, Broner, he's always excited for the sport of boxing. He's always entertaining to watch, win, lose, or draw. And, he brings a lot of excitement to the sport. It's gotten a little dry since Broner, I still remember when Broner was first coming up in the sport, he had so much hype behind him. People were comparing the guy to Mayweather because when he was beating his opponents, he was toying with them. And, Broner has a certain flash about his style in the ring where if he's not looking cool when he's slapping you up, he don't do it. I never seen Broner in a dirty grind fight that he had to grind his way through in elite level. Broner, all his punches have to be sharp. All of them are counter punches. You know what I mean? He just doesn't let his hands go. Sometimes he has to be a little too cute in the ring, and that's what's holding his career back. I really think the second half of his career, that when he started losing after that loss with Marcus Maidana, he changed his style. That's not who he is as a fighter. He tried to be more like Floyd in style when he was really the best when he was like AB. Adrien Broner in his prime was letting his hands go, and he was throwing combinations and fighting you in the inside, right? So yeah, but we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. One of the really good performances, even after he lost, was John Molina Jr. I thought that was a phenomenal fight from Adrien Broner. He showed that he can let his hands go when he wants to. He can box. He can move around the ring, and that was one of his showcase fights, in my opinion. That was a really good fight for him. I thought some fights they say he lost, I thought those fights were good, right? Another fight that I have in mind is the John Molina Jr. fight. That was another good fight for him as well. He showed that he can fight a extreme power puncher. Another one was Antonio DeMarco when he was undefeated, and then he just walked him down and just tore him apart. And he fought him in the Philly show on the inside. A lot of things that Broner does well, that was a signature of him that made him who he was. He just went away from that because he started hanging with big bro Floyd. He started trying to be like him. So, that's the problem with Broner. You know, a lot of times when people train with Mayweather, they try to imitate his style. Unfortunately for them, it takes years to master that style, if not decades to master that style. Floyd Mayweather was raised up on the Philly shell thanks to his father and uncle, Roger Mayweather and Senior Mayweather, right? They both taught him that style. So that style is a craft that Floyd was raised on, which is different than just picking up at the gym and then trying at the high level. You know what I mean? Floyd was raised on that. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, you don't really see trainers who have a boxing style training a person who's like an inside fighter. And while Broner may not be an inside fighter, he wasn't a Philly shell type fighter as far as the way Floyd uses it, because Floyd uses it at least later in the later half of his career is more of a defensive style than an aggressive style. If Floyd wants to get aggressive, you could, but for the most part, he's more defensive with it first, and he's more reacting to what you're doing, and he's countering you, right? He's doing the basics. He's jabbing you, moving around the ring, and hitting you when your feet aren't set, or you're just throwing shots that you're getting desperate. You're just throwing wild stuff. But with that being said, man, Broner, instead of keeping his own style, he tried to mutate his style after the loss to Marcus Vidana, and you know that's what basically held his career back. We're gonna see how he goes from here, though, man. I think him fighting an elite level opponent, I actually think, in my opinion, that's a bad idea. After a 2-year layoff, you need to fight a bum. You need to fight a bum at least 2 fights. Broner is notorious for having rape problems. He's notorious for coming in big. So instead of training his boxing skills, he's having a fat camp instead of a training camp. So what you're gonna see is how this whole thing unfolds. Hopefully it's a bum. I don't want to see Broner in any tough opposition, at least for a year, because I want to know the guy's in shape. I want to see the guy in shape and looking good against some bums before I want to see him in an elite opponent. Because the elite opponent is gonna be too close, and I know Broner has been out for too long in the ring, so I know that's not the best Broner. So yeah, man, I want to see him versus a bum, and maybe next fight after that he could fight an elite level opponent. But even then, it should be a non-title fight. You know, maybe a has-been, a guy who used to be good and who isn't so good anymore. Maybe like a Victor Postal. Victor Postal would be a good guy for Adrien Broner 2 fights down the line. That's a good fight for Adrien Broner. Postal's a good fighter, but for the most part, he's boxing on the outside. He's not really trying to do any harm. He had some fights where he fought people like Lucas Matisse, and he happened to get that win by KO. But, you know, that was an anomaly. Victor Postal, for the most part, is a boxer on the outside for sure. Let me know how you guys feel about AEB coming back, though. I think that's a really big deal. Early 2021. You heard from Espinoza. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.